Friday, baby. Remember I told you that story about when I wrestled for VCW? Yeah, the first belt I won, I was 20 years old, I beat the Barbarian. Yeah, no, seriously. I'm with Bob right now. We just came in and the guy, Phil Brown, that did the extra stuff in WWE, I just kicked his ass and took his belt, babe. I told Bob.
No. You took your belt.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you. I never lost the belt. I got signed and I never lost the belt. They had like a phony battle royal or something. Yeah, no. I love you too. Yeah, we're the red one. All right.
He was a paper champion, man. He was a paper champion. He didn't
Look at
earn
this
that.
thing. Look at this thing.
They say
the Barbarian, the power of pain. 20 years old, Bob. You remember it. You remember it.
The Barbarian.
I kicked out of the big boot. I big booted him. 1, 2, 3. I've been the champion since 2004, and they've been holding my belt on some sort of a loan. You know, I think they owe me some money. Wouldn't you think
interest,
they owe us probably some money?
Definitely.
As my managing attorney, I think that we ought to seek litigation, get some payoffs for this, and then come back to Newport News, smack Phil Brown in the head with the belt again,
and prove to the world once again that Luke Gallows is the real world champion.
The real world's heavyweight champion.
That sounds so awesome.
You are the man.
Yes. You're the man.
It's time to go home and sit on the mantle with the rest of them, baby. Let's get out of here.
We out. Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to VCW Liberty Lottery 2011. What an amazing night we've seen thus far. Paul London winning the Liberty Championship, Chach and Crotch the #1 contenders for the tag titles, the Punker gaining his freedom from the All-Stars, Damian Wayne presumably the new #1 contender, but Jerry, none of that happened without injury.
You're right. And Damian Wayne may not actually be able to compete now in the Liberty Lottery is my understanding.
I know Jerry's happy about it. Me, unfortunately, don't feel the same way. It's pretty sad that Damian Wayne comes out here, knocks off C.W. Anderson, has another chance to get a shot at gold, and unfortunately it doesn't look like it's going to come to fruition as Damian Wayne has been officially ruled out of the upcoming Liberty Lottery matchup. We'll keep you updated on details of a possible replacement there. But Jerry, this is time for the semi-main event. Any other night it would be the main event. The world title at stake, Luke Gallows in the ring.
You see, when I first won this title back in 2004, before that paper so-called champion, Bill Brown, walked around with my title while I was becoming famous all over the world. There was a man who led me to it. And his name is Spencer Chestnut. Spencer, come on out here.
Why is Luke Gallows bringing out Spencer Chestnut?
Is it my birthday, Blake? This is fantastic. Spencer Chestnut is the man that led Luke Gallows to the heavyweight championship that he's held for 7 years.
So everything's gonna come full circle tonight.
Now, Spencer, I'm so proud to have you out here. It's about 6-7 years since we've been together. So I want you to tell these people a little about what we discussed on the phone about maybe you possibly absolving yourself of your sins, becoming better than them, because you don't drink, you don't take drugs, you don't squander your children's college funds with opiates. Spencer Chestnut, right here tonight, I'm going to give you the opportunity
beautiful. That is a beautiful moment right there, Blake. Two straight edge guys giving each other a manly hug.
Why don't you go in there and join them?
Yeah, I would. Straight edge is the way to live, Blake. That is a way to live your life.
I'm not going to comment on this situation. Luke Gallows trying to gain that VCW title properly from Phil Brown.
Luke Gallows is the rightful VCW Heavyweight Champion, Blake. He has been VCW Heavyweight Champion for 7 years. No one ever beat him for that championship. As far as I'm concerned, anyone that's held it between now and then, it's questionable. It's questionable.
So Gallows' reign as VCW's champion is actually longer than John Kerman's reign as Liberty champion.
They're both the same length. 2 decades they've spanned.
2 decades, right.
2 decades.
For those of you who are unaware, Luke Gallows, before being signed by the WWE, was, of course, the VCW champion, unable to continue defending that gold as he made his next step in his career. He is back in VCW, claims to have never lost that strap, but that man right there, the platinum icon, Phil Brown, the 5-time VCW heavyweight champion, is ready to defend this gold in his hometown at the hottest event of the summer.
At the high school he went to. You know, Phil Brown is an alumnus of Hampton High School.
Indeed he is.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if these people like Phil Brown. It doesn't matter if it's his hometown, if it's his home high school, if it's his house. It doesn't matter where he's wrestling Luke Gallows. Luke Gallows is going to defeat Phil Brown soundly tonight and prove why he's been champion for 7 years.
He's got a great shot at it. Spencer Chestnut is in his corner, but you can always present some problems for the opposition.
Well, like I said earlier, Spencer Chestnut is the man that led Luke Gallows to the heavyweight championship so many years ago. So things have come full circle.
Luke Gallows here. We saw him knock off Chase the Punker Strummer on the hype machine a couple of weeks ago. That was his tune-up for this one. Let's see what he can do, because Phil Brown, take nothing away from Chase Strummer, but Phil Brown is a little bit different of a competitor.
Well, Phil Brown is, you know, some people consider Phil Brown to be the MVP of Vanguard Championship Wrestling.
That's hard to deny.
Phil Brown is, like you said, 5-time VCW Heavyweight Champion, more than anybody in history. Phil Brown has held pretty much every championship and accolade there is in VCW. He's a former Lutz Cup winner. He's been a tag team champion multiple times. Phil Brown has been with VCW for you know, the better part of the last decade. You know, he has done everything that there is to do here.
Well, I'll say, Jerry, as long as I've been involved, and pretty much as long as you've been involved, Phil Brown has been at the top of VCW, and I don't see that stopping anytime soon.
I actually see it stopping tonight. I see it stopping tonight because I see Luke Gallows running over Phil Brown like a freight train.
We have 2 large, strong individuals here. The World Heavyweight Championship hangs in the balance. Liberty Lottery 2011, our semi-main event of the evening. Like we said, Jerry, on any other night, this would be the clear main event. But at the action-packed Liberty Lottery show, we still have the amazing Liberty Lottery match to come.
You're right, and as we know, as we were saying earlier, Damian Wayne is not going to be competing in the 20-man Liberty Lottery now at this point.
As we saw just a few minutes ago, that brutal attack by C.W. Anderson post-match after Wayne shocked him. You know, you got to feel for Damian Wayne here. He does have a VCW title shot upcoming, but his chance at the lottery now out of the balance.
What a brilliant move by C.W. Anderson, because now, ideally, C.W. Anderson is the #1 contender, because Damian Wayne's not going to be able to compete for that title.
He might be in the future. That's just tonight. We don't know how the long-term prognosis is. We know he's officially been ruled out tonight. We'll try to get you an update over the next few weeks. We got some hype machines coming up, and hopefully Damian Wayne can definitely be in the mix for that world title shot coming up. Bell sounds, this one's underway. The Liberty title, or rather, the Liberty Lottery here, world title hangs in the balance. Phil Brown, Luke Gallows. This one's starting off fisticuffs. Phil Brown, big right hands. Luke Gallows in the ropes. And look at the strength of Phil Brown, knocking Luke Gallows silly.
You know, back in 2004 when Luke Gallows was last here, Blake, Phil Brown ducked him. Do you remember that? Because I do.
Dumped him?
Ducked him.
Ducked him.
Ducked him. He was ducking Luke Gallows. Luke Gallows went out there and beat one of Phil Brown. And I think Phil Brown tripped on the...
I think that was Spencer Chestnut. You know damn well it was. Spencer Chestnut assisting Luke Gallows, but to no avail as Gallows hits the floor, and it looks like this straight-edge party is coming crashing down.
Whatever. And like I was stating before, Phil Brown ducked Luke Gallows back in 2004. Sean Denny, Phil Brown's good friend, was defeated by Luke Gallows for that heavyweight championship where it was Phil Brown. He never stepped up against Luke Gallows. He never got in the ring with Luke Gallows. He waited until Luke Gallows had left Vanguard Championship Wrestling to go after that title, to win that championship. And now Luke Gallows has come back. And now Phil Brown has no choice but to face Luke Gallows.
I don't think that has anything to do with it. Phil Brown is one of the top competitors in VCW. I've never seen him duck a challenge. He competes all over the country, all over the world, and there's no reason to believe that Phil Brown won't take on the best competition put in front of him. Gallows measures him up, big kick to the gut there, and Luke Gallows here has a little bit more range than Phil Brown, and he's using that to his advantage right away.
He's got greater range.
Big right hand by Gallows.
Greater strength than Phil Brown. And you know what? The experience that he's taken away from the straight edge society, from being in a group, in a tandem with guys like CM Punk. I mean, you can't buy experience like that.
I will give you that, and you see Gallows here, who has been one of the more improved competitors across the world over the last couple years. Of course, CM Punk, under his tutelage, you have to be able to ascend the ranks. Gallows now goes for the suplex. Looks like Phil Brown blocks it. Phil's one of the strongest guys around. He has that ability. Phil Brown's going to reverse it. Look at the strength of Phil. Getting big Luke Gallows up and over for the suplex. Gallows stumbling around on the outside here, and it looks like Phil Brown might have tweaked his lower back on that one. We've seen a plethora of injuries tonight, Jerry. Phil Brown can ill afford to go down here.
Well, Phil Brown is a very strong individual, but I'm sure he tweaked his back, or maybe more than tweaked his back on that, because Luke Gallows is a huge guy. I mean, it took probably every ounce of strength Phil Brown had to throw that suplex, and I don't know that it was so smart, because you see Luke Gallows is still standing on his feet.
Luke Gallows now, he's on the outside trying to get back in the ring, conferencing with Spencer Chestnut here, which is interesting because this is the first time these two have been together, and you wonder the chemistry between Spencer and Luke Gallows, if that's going to come into play here.
Well, it's the first time the two of them have been together in many years. I mean, like I said before, Spencer Chestnut managed Luke Gallows to that championship. I'm sure, a lot has happened. Both have grown, as competitors. So if anything, it's just going to be better for both of them now that they're back together, because they both have gone through so many more experiences in the wrestling business.
There's potential there for that, but Luke Gallows here measuring up Phil Brown off the ropes, diving clothesline. As the man who claims to be the champion, Mr. Straight Edge himself, Luke Gallows, in control in the opening few minutes here of this world title contest at Liberty Lottery 2011.
Claims to be. He came out with the belt.
Possession is only 9/10 of the law, Jared. Phil Brown, the leg lariat. That signature Phil Brown leg lariat. He goes for the super kick. Gallows has Phil well scouted. He gets out of the ring and probably avoids a pinfall right there.
Luke Gallows was outsmarted him, as you saw right there. And you know what? He probably could have taken that super kick right to the chin. And I'm sure Luke Gallows would have still kicked out after that super kick. Because Luke Gallows is like Superman, Blake. He is like, look at the guy. The guy, he's almost 7 feet tall. He weighs about over 300 pounds.
Oh, he's a huge competitor, no question about that. One of the top stars all around the world. That's why we brought him back to VCW, as we have all the top talent around. And Phil Brown, our champion, he's got a tall task in front of him in Luke Gallows, but I think it's something Phil can handle.
You know what my favorite VCW moment of 2011 has been?
What's that?
Watching Luke Gallows make his triumphant return unannounced and take back that VCW title.
That was one of the top moments, not necessarily my favorite moment, but Luke Gallows here, he jumps Phil Brown from behind and now throws him to the outside. Luke Gallows goes out to the floor. He's got Phil. Irish whip right into the security railing. And it looks like Phil's clutching his arm. He might have hit it against the rail. Hopefully that's not going to cause injury.
Well, if that didn't, I'm sure the chair did when Luke Gallows threw the chair on top of him.
Gallows in control here, trying to officially win back his title, putting the boots to Phil Brown on the floor. But Jerry, there is a count out, there is a disqualification in this contest. Gallows has to be careful because he very well could get counted out or disqualified, and Phil would retain.
Luke Gallows is a wild man out there, Blake. Luke Gallows will go out there. He'll do whatever he wants. He's like a Bruiser Brody. He's like an Abdullah the Butcher. He'll take you outside the ring. He'll beat you up with whatever's not nailed down out there, and then he'll throw you back in, and he'll put you to waste. He'll put you down. He'll pin you. He'll make you submit. Whatever he decides he wants to do. He knows what he needs to do. He knows how to do just enough so he doesn't get disqualified, and then take that advantage. And you see Spencer Chestnut right there has the referee's attention.
Yeah, you would like that, wouldn't you? Though you have to give it to Gallows. He's a savvy veteran. He knows what he's doing in there. So all those tactics combined, it's going to be very difficult for Phil Brown to knock him off. And especially because of that man on the outside, Spencer Chestnut, throwing his 2 cents in there, or in this case, a kick to the midsection, going to further injure Phil Brown.
You know, Luke Gallows, he really is. To me, he epitomizes.
Oh, look at this pledge on the top rope. He does not need to be doing this right now. He needs a fully gained attack on Phil Brown, because if he does not continue the attack here, then he very well could be in trouble.
Luke Gallows, to me, epitomizes what a wrestler should be in the year 2011, Blake. He's big, he's dangerous, he's wild, but he's also extremely intelligent. He also knows that by living that straight-edge lifestyle, it's going to lead him to more championships. It's going to lead him to more victories.
What makes you think that?
Because he's clean and sober, Blake. Because he doesn't take opiates. He doesn't go out there and drink and party every night like some of these other guys do. He doesn't have these big beer guts like some of the wrestlers from the 70s used to have. Luke Gallows is a new age competitor. He is in great top physical condition because of his straight edge lifestyle.
Sometimes I think it's a little bit over the top, but you are right, Jerry. He is very much in great physical condition, trying to wear down Phil Brown, another big physical competitor, with a chin lock here, side headlock now, as Luke Gallows wrenching it in. The crowd trying to get behind their hometown guy, Phil Brown, trying to have the title stay around his waist on this evening. Back up to a vertical base. Look at Phil Brown trying to fight out. Brown throwing the elbows in there. Phil Brown off the ropes. Oh, and Luke Gallows meets him with a big back elbow, flooring Phil Brown.
What great timing for that maneuver, Blake. What great timing. You see the timing in the ring. He's dangerous outside the ring. He's dangerous inside the ring. Look at that big splash, dropping all of his weight across Phil Brown. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time before we hear those words. Luke Gallows, still your VCW Heavyweight Champion.
I don't know if those would be the exact words said, but Luke Gallows trying to gain the VCW Heavyweight Championship in this instance from Phil Brown, doing a number on him. And look at Spencer Chestnut. Let me guess, he was just wiping the sweat off of him there, Jerry?
That's what it looked like from my vantage point. I couldn't really see.
Spencer Chestnut physically asserting himself into this contest. Not exactly what I expected, but Luke Gallows now bringing it to him from all angles, and the world champ is definitely in some trouble here.
I need to call Spencer Chestnut. I may have a case pending against George Pantis.
About what?
You know about what. Let's focus on the match, though, for now. Look at Luke Gallows once again taking it to the outside. And look, ramming Phil Brown face first into that guardrail. Phil Brown doesn't know where he's at right now, Blake.
Phil Brown trying to not add himself to the list of injuries that we've seen on this evening. You mentioned George Pantis, of course. We'll get you an update on him. Chase Strummer, Damian Wayne, a lot of guys injured tonight. Hopefully there'll be no more added to that list, as Phil Brown here trying to retain his title after the emotional victory a few months ago here over C.W. Anderson.
Look at the look on these stupid fans' faces, Blake. They don't know what to think right now. Very big hero Phil Brown is begging for mercy on the floor right now.
Phil Brown being sent back inside by Luke Gallows. The straight-edge superstar gets in the ring. Gonna cover Phil, at least he hooks the leg, but that's only gonna get 2.5. Gallows, very technically sound, Jerry, and he's been in control for most of this contest.
Are you surprised?
I'm not surprised, but Phil is the heavyweight champion of the world, and you got to expect he's going to be bringing his all each and every night, especially on this night.
I'm not going to argue that point with you again because I've made my point very clear. Luke Gallows is the heavyweight champion of the world. He has been the VCW heavyweight champion for the last 7 years. He's proving tonight why he's been champion for the last 7 years, just like he proved when he crushed Chase the Punker Strummer on the hype machine a few months ago.
Was he trying to challenge Moolah's reign?
I believe so. I think that's the plan.
That's the plan.
He wants to be a 40-year champion.
Well, very well could come to a crashing halt here at Hampton High School. Liberty Lottery 2011 as Phil Brown charges back to his feet. The crowd fully behind him. Phil Brown getting out of this chin lock. Oh, but Luke Gallows. Look at the big man retaining control off the ropes. Puts his head down. That was a mistake. Phil kicks him in the face. Phil charges, but a big back elbow by Gallows. Gallows comes up. Off the ropes, Irish whip reversal. Phil Brown measures him up, big clothesline. Here he goes, and another one. That's two. Phil Brown whips him in, and a big back elbow. Phil Brown's in control. 1, 2, and a near fall right there. Phil nearly knocked off Luke Gallows, but Phil Brown, he's rocking. He's back on fire. Luke goes for the pump kick and ends that one quickly.
That's right. See, you don't, and that's going to be a cover. 2 and 3.
Nearly gets the 3 count off the pump kick, but Luke Gallows has a counter for everything Phil Brown's thrown at him tonight.
That's because Luke Gallows, you know, he has many similarities to Bruno Sammartino. 7-year title reign, great athlete, dominating athlete.
Yeah, they look real similar too.
They do, they look extremely similar. I don't know if I wish we could get a picture to put up there right now.
Irish whip into the corner, Gallows misses the charge, Phil's got him inside cradle, 2! He rolls him up, but Phil can't get the nuke. But look at Phil Brown. Look, using his resourcefulness to roll up Luke Gallows out of that one.
You know, Bruno was the original straight edge wrestler. I don't know if you knew that.
Wait a minute. Gallows pull. Gallows pull, Blake. He just dropped him with the Gallows pull out of nowhere. Jerry, as much as you might like this, we could probably be seeing a new champion here. What is he doing? What is Gallows waiting for?
Spencer Chestnut just said, make Phil Brown go to sleep. You know what that means, Blake.
Well, his mentor, CM Punk, loves to make people go to sleep. Let's see if Luke Gallows can put the champ to bed here.
The Gallows pull will be enough to take down any normal man. Now this is just the icing on the cake.
Phil Brown is out. He's in a fireman's carry position. Go to sleep. Luke Gallows just rocks Phil Brown with the go to sleep. That should be all. 1, 2. Oh, Phil kicks out. What? Phil is kicked out. What? I thought we were going to see a new champion, Jerry. We were less than a half a count away. But Phil Brown uses the resiliency, and he's hanging in this one. And Phil Brown is still your VCW champion at this moment.
How did he kick out of the Gallows point and the GTS? I don't understand.
I have no idea, and it doesn't look like Luke Gallows understands either. Arguing with referee James Patrick. Spencer Chestnut's throwing a fit on the floor, and it looks like the Straight Edge Society's plan, Jerry, is crumbling in front of their eyes. Whips him in. Gallows into the corner. He beats super kick. Out of nowhere. 1, 2, 3. Phil shocks him out of nowhere. Phil Brown is still your VCW champion. Can you believe it, Jerry? Jerry Stephanitsis is in complete and utter shock right now. Spencer Chestnut doesn't know what happened. Luke Gallows is laid out. Phil Brown snaps off the super kick out of nowhere, and that's going to be good enough to retain his title. And it looks like Spencer Chestnut and Luke Gallows got a little too overzealous with that one, and Phil Brown retains the title in his hometown.
Retain? This is like when Superstar Graham ended Bruno's 7-year title reign, Blake. This is shocking. I can't believe that Phil Brown is the new heavyweight champion and that Luke Gallows' 7-year reign has come to a crashing halt.
In the same place he won his 5th VCW title a few months ago over C.W. Anderson, Phil Brown walks out of Hampton High School, his high school that he went to, his alma mater. He's going to retain the title at Liberty Lottery. What a moment here for Phil Brown and the fans.